How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Petty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. And we want to take a look at and kind of just talk about like team synergy a little bit and everything. Because it's the first week, we're all getting new characters, we're all testing some out, testing some stuff out, playing with some things, seeing what happens. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go through and talk about my favorite team right now. I wanted to name them something that I couldn't put in a YouTube video because demonetization is a thing. But these are my murder women, okay? And we're gonna look at what makes the synergy in the team really work and what kind of things we're going for. Also, towards the end of the video, we're gonna open some. We're gonna do some summons. See what we get. We got 27, so we just gonna pray a little bit and see if Petty gets any new toys. But let's go ahead and look at what the actual team is itself. So I am running 2 lightning people, a fire, and a water. And who those people are a little bit important for what I'm trying to do. So right off the bat, we're getting elemental resonance for high voltage. This essentially just means that we're getting energy back a lot faster, which means more elemental bursts, or your Q for you PC players. Basically your ultimate. I like to call it my ultimate, but it's decent for getting that up, okay? We're also essentially going for a good elemental coverage. So between lightning, fire, and water, we should be able to bully most elements we run into. A big thing that you want to be able to do when you set up these teams is have them work in a lot of places. Now, you can definitely have more niche teams. There is nothing wrong with that. Essentially, I actually have teams set up for world stuff. Like if I see a bunch of puzzles and I'm like, crap, I need amber. Or I need to be able to set something on fire that's 60 feet away. I've got some teams set up, or if I've got to break really big rocks, I got my girl Noelle on one team. There's actually a trick for that we'll talk about at some point. But for the most part, this is the team that I've been running around with for like last 3-4 hours of game time at least. And I have been in love. Now, don't get me wrong. All the teams I've had before this were great. We killed lots of things. I had a great time. It was beautiful. But this team just works so perfectly. At least for the stuff that I'm trying to do, which includes memes. We'll get to why this is my Pokemon team. I also could have named it my Pokemon team, because straight up, we're playing Pokemon a little bit. That's the long con here. But the biggest issue that I'll run into with this team is that if 2 of my people are electricity based and I run into some electros, I'm going to have a hard time doing damage to them if only half my team can really do something. Which is why we have fire and water, who both do a pretty decent job of countering lightning, but specifically my fire character, Zhangli, is probably my best damage dealer. She would be who I consider the basically carry DPS of this team. Everybody's got a job to do. Everybody's got several jobs to do. But especially in the situation where we're weakest, Zhangli is going to show up and just absolutely bully things. Admittedly, that's because I got super lucky and already have 2 constellations of her. So obviously when you're building your teams and putting them together, you're going to have to take into account what luck have you had? What do you have? Like, who are your strongest people? I know right off the bat, I only have a few other people with constellations. I want to say, so we've got Fischl, main character, Amber, and I want to say that's it. Like 90% sure, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So I... Admittedly, between like adventure rank 10 and 15, my Amber was really shining for me, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much she was starting to carry some stuff. But she doesn't work well on this team, even though she's fire, for a couple of reasons. So we've got 1 person with a bow and arrow, 1 person with a magic artifact, and another person with a magic artifact. if I'm running around the world and I need to break stuff, gotta have my girl here. Otherwise, I ain't getting into nothing. You want to make sure that you're not missing really key roles like that when you're putting together teams. Do you have someone that can mine? Do you have somebody that can shoot stuff from far away? Because there's a bunch of puzzles where it's like, okay, I see you found me, but can you shoot this? So you need to have your person with the bow and arrow. Essentially, there's roles that you need to be paying attention to for all these guys. So it also, well, actually, I don't believe there's stronger knockback with melee characters, but I don't believe I've seen bow and arrows have too much of a knockback. We might have to test that, actually. But let's take a look at a little bit of combat real quick and talk about how we're getting the synergy that I want from this team and what the Pokemon deal is, because we playing Pokemon, y'all. We 100% playing Pokemon. Probably could have slammed down and made a grand old entrance. So, real quick, for those of you who don't know what Zhongli's E is, she basically just pops out her little raccoon buddy. I very, 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 very much want them to eventually release skins for this game, and I want to be able to have a Charmander skin for my boy here. Yes, I know licensing is a thing, but you tell me that this little dude is not my little Charmander. So, way I do this team for the most part is I'll pop out Zhongli's E, I'll pop out Fischl's E, and then switch to either Barbara or Lisa depending on who has the stronger elemental advantage with what I'm fighting, and start going to town. And then recycling through them as their skills come off cooldown, and I can summon all these guys again. A couple other things that feed into this team that work pretty well for me. The weapon I actually have on Fischl, after damaging an opponent with an elemental skill, the skill has a 40% chance to end its own CD, can only occur once every 30 seconds. So the cooldown on the bird is a little bit longer than Zhongli's E is, so that gives me the ability to be able to maintain them both. Otherwise, I would have big gaps where I can essentially only pop out my little buddy here, and then I'm stuck a little bit on this one. This bird lasts, and then once this bird disappears, then the cooldown timer starts for that 12 seconds. So I could end up with some mixed match Pokemon in terms of timing if it wasn't for using some of my weapons and everything to tie into that team synergy. Another reason that I kind of have Zhongli set up to be the carry DPS on this team, especially when it comes to like actually attacking things, is with that second constellation we got for her. At the end of our normal attack combo, essentially, it puts an implode status, which basically means there's like a little bomb attack. It doesn't explode and do a bunch of damage to everything around it, but it's basically just stored damage that after 2 seconds, bam, now it hits. Kind of like a dot, but it doesn't happen multiple times. Like there's not multiple ticks of them taking damage. There's just a lump and do some things. Alright. Also, another clutch thing, I don't know if we're gonna luck out and see any ore here, but the trick we talked about last video with the jump, that'll let you mine just about every ore. Even the ones you're supposed to kind of need two-handers with, you can still break those. It's not in one shot. It still takes like 2, 3, 4 attempts for the damage that does to get through those bigger ores. But you don't have to have someone on your team with that big hulking two-hander, because you can kind of cheese mining a little bit. Thought that's a good thing to know, especially when you're trying to put teams together and you might feel like, okay, well, I have to at least bring Noel. If I had Chongyong, I would potentially be running around with that man because he is a soldier. But you don't have to have specifically the two-hander, because again, just the slightest little baby surface, and you can do that. At least until they patch it. Once they patch it, that advice goes right out the window. Though I don't think that that's really an exploit or anything like that. So I wouldn't be too worried. So combination of dropping our dude, throwing fire around, introducing elemental. Now I can do anything on any other 2 characters, and I'm getting 2 elements applied to whatever I'm fighting. And then I can, potentially keep trying to slam some stuff home with Lisa. That's actually really useful if Hydro's applied to a couple of things, but Fischl's pet is only like dinging one of them over and over again. Electro Charge is only going to bounce from that one unit. Switching to Lisa and trying to at least, one tag everybody and go through a rotation of that will then start that chain lightning that'll keep rolling through them and doing some pretty chunky damage. You're definitely going to be between adventure rank like 15 to 20 when you start being even able to set up kind of teams like this that are able to use so much of the elemental stuff. Because early on it's very, very difficult to get elemental combos. Whereas a team with this, since 2 of my characters are leaving something constantly on the field, applying that effect, I'm then having an easier time of working some other stuff in. So, pretty good teamwork. These are my murder ladies, and they're doing a great job. But then I still have, Fischl for being able to shoot stuff like I need to. And you typically always want to have at least 2 roles that someone is filling on your team to really justify them being there. If it's just trying to bring a single element, there's probably a smarter way that you can play that slot. Sometimes you absolutely just need the element, and that's absolutely fine. But again, you want them to kind of be carrying 2 hats. So Fischl has her bow and arrows, can help with puzzles, is also nice steady electro damage, Jiangling also super effective at helping spread elemental stuff, and her damage is just gross. And then we're also able to mine and break stuff when we're exploring. Lisa kind of doesn't have 2 jobs. She's, almost here just to drop her ultimate and then put Electro on things that Fischl's E is missing. So I could probably give her more work, but that's a little rough. And then Barbara is the most broken thing of healing I've seen so far in this game. I've seen no other healers yet, so that's not saying a lot. But I haven't eaten food since I got Barbara and started using her. Okay? I'm the man that was telling you to go shopping for a family of 8, that you needed to hoard food. Now you need Barbara. You need Barbara. Super happy they're giving her to everybody at rank 20 because... oh my god, the difference it makes in the amount of damage that you can take, the fights that you can pick. It is so beautiful having a healer. So, how you doing, buddy? I just want to use you as a bit of an example, you know what I mean? Just kind of hang out a little bit. You're getting a little far away from my guys there. Jiangling can, well, if she finishes her combo, it has a knockback at the end of it, so I almost would have been able to... get him moved back towards my thing if that last one had landed. Aww. But yeah, this is, welcome to my episode of Pokemon. These are my murder women, and I like my team very much. Yeah, we're at pretty decent time. I want to go ahead and start rolling into those wishes and everything, just so this isn't like a 30-minute long video. But let me know what teams you guys are playing around with right now, what combinations you're finding really interesting. Because as soon as I put this team together, I just went on a murder spree for a little while. I ran up and down every hill I could find, killed everything that I could see, except animals, because I've got Barbara now, so I don't need to eat anymore. But it was so satisfying, and I have been able to go and bully so many things with this team, and fight some stuff that should probably have, roughed me up a little bit. I've been running around down here where the mobs are a little bit higher level than I am, and no issues whatsoever. So let me know what kind of teams you guys are running, and what you, if you have any questions about who you have, and what I might suggest, because I get a few of those and I try to reply to them the best I can. Let's we've got 27 summons. So you know what? And I'm not a greedy man. I'm not a greedy man. We're start off with the singles until we spend that 7, and then I'm a slam on that 10 button. You can believe that. But we'll go nice and easy. And the most important thing to do when you're summoning is believe. You gotta believe. Believe you're getting a weapon. Nah, there's a Summoner's War video where the whole thing was supposed to be a troll because I was hiding a Transcendent Scroll, which is a guaranteed Nat 5. And the whole thing was just you gotta believe. You gotta see the Nat 5. And I was committed to the meme, and then I started pulling Nat 5s, and it was deeply confusing. So maybe the secret is to believing. I'm just saying. You know, I have some faith. Also, if you're curious about, does doing the single pulls not prevent you from getting the guaranteed every 10? No, it's keeping track of what luck you're having and everything. If you pull 3 singles at a time and then hit a 4-star on that third one, the pity timer resets right then. So your next 7 are actually counted towards your next 4-star. So it's a little bit better than the 10 pulls. In terms of probability, but it's a little soul crushing. That's fine. We did 7. There's 3 more until our next guaranteed, but if I had more, I'd use them. But let's go ahead and hit the 10. And honestly, I need to do so much on the characters that I currently have that I'm like, please don't throw too much at me. I can't handle this. Okay. We'll take a constellation for Fischl. It would be really cool if she had a friend, But, I ain't gonna be mad at it. Isn't it nice getting all these refining materials? It's beautiful. Actually, is this the... There's one of these bows that I've been able... Okay, no, it's not this one. Low-key, if you happen to end up with, 6 of... I think it's on my amber right now. I was able to max out this bow, basically from drop. And increase damage against weak spots by 48%. That is beautiful damage. Beautiful damage. So, getting a bunch of 3-star weapons is... There's worse fates in the world, champ. You'll be alright. You just gotta believe. Alright. Sword. Never saw that before. Fischl again on the second pull. Oh, that's so troll. That's so troll. If I watch this back and all the weapons are in the same order too, I'm just gonna quietly cry myself to sleep tonight. And that's it. We got another Fischl. That's rough, bro. But I mean, at least let's see how much more our girl's gonna be feeding into our team now. Okay. That's fine. Not super amazing. Usually the level 2 constellations are super interesting and add something to the character, but alright. Yeah, see, that would have been cool. You couldn't have given me 3 Fischls? Is that asking too much? Is that being too greedy? But you don't have to, copy any of the teams that we're using. Hold on, I was trying to get the party set up. We did another video on how to build teams and everything. But on paper, you can be like, okay, I definitely want to go for, 2 cryo and 2 fire. That'll be the best thing that I think that I can do. Yeah, it's... Well, there's only 3 cryo characters, so you're going to be pretty locked down to who you're able to use for that. But mechanically, you want your characters to sync well. So the fact that I can quickly switch between a few of these people and then have a one or two option of who I want to try and carry the fight with, it works out super, super well. But not all characters have the ability to, use one of their skills and then you still get benefit from it when you switch them out. There's, Kaya is a great example of that. He's going to throw his little ice spit out, and then that's it. That's all Kaya had to bring to the party. Bye, boy. So you you don't want that. It's going to be like that early game for most people just because of the limitations that you have. But once you start getting, 8, 9 characters, you're going to be able to start looking at them and be like, all right, how can I throw these guys together? And then where are they going to be weak? And then how can I offset for that? And yeah, as we get into more characters and stuff, we'll take a look at more teams. Because, again, this game can get a little deep. There's mechanically a lot of little things going on, and I am not the world's greatest theory crafter, so it's probably going to take us a little bit to hash out some real goodness. But I appreciate you guys, and yeah, I think that's about it. You have to catch your boy in the next one, because we out of here. Deuces. I gotta hold Alt so that I can actually click on record so I can't throw the deuces up, because Genshin is mean and a bully. I'm just playing.